Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the last Superbike race of the season in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. We're talking about the Superbikes, the big bikes, huge starting field to be welcomed here on the grid again. They already have been on their outlap, now approaching the grid. And yesterday's race number 1 on the Saturday here in Most in the Czech Republic saw the bike number 98 of Karel Hanika from the Fanny Castro BMW Motorrad team take the full 25 points and therefore secured the championship for this season. He had a really good rhythm already in the wet on Friday, was quite relaxed, was now evenly pleased by either dry circumstances or in the wet. He was at ease and he really took it in his own hands. Didn't get the whole shot, but after 2 corners he already had the lead in the race and was able to bring it home. There he is on pole position again, of course, for race number 2. Pole position being the grid head. There he is with the number 1 on his t-shirt. Bit of a creative outing. What's this? Mislav, you're with me. Are you the creative one with the painting qualities, or what? This is special? Is this a new art form? I think it is.
Maybe they didn't want to jinx it, you know.
Oh, that's it.
Then they waited just with a plain white T-shirt to write the number 1.
Get some lipstick out. Come on, girl, get some lipstick out. We'll draw a T-shirt.
But
here's the
one interesting fact regarding this race is Hanika did take the championship yesterday, but he also was at that party that we were mentioning earlier.
So that's going to be
going to be a bit tricky.
We heard some music here and there. Well, let's get into it. Well, we're just looking at down the grid. We saw the number 13 of Villa Valtano with his best result, finally getting to grips also with the bike. The beautiful Yamaha setup with the Michelin tires. Third tire manufacturer here on the paddock. Fourth actually, sorry, miscalculated that. Open tile rules, we've got Bridgestones, we've got the Dunlops, we've got Pirellis, we've got the Michelins here, and that's good to see that the different quality of different types of tires come into play while we're looking at the Waypole bike, and that's Mark Cerveni, former IRC Supersport Championship and now contending in the Superbikes within the IRC for the Waypole racing team. Came third this season. Of course, they have had their closure in Froburg last week, one of the road tracks over there. And they also come to Horici here in the Czech Republic. Immensely popular, you know. The whole village runs for Horici. It's a really impressive road race there here in the Czech Republic, and they love him. There we got the Ducati of Jiří Broz, the number 66. They have got quite a bit of a home crowd with them as well here on the track. Quite some publicity done for the Ducati team there, the number 36 here on the Vaclav Bitman. Looking at the lineup, Jiří Broz, they have grid girls, they got everything with them.
Yes,
they're not
full-blown European team. Nevertheless, a lot of serious teams in this strongest category in the championship. A lot of riders which are competing in the Endurance World Championship.
Pazero Racing, we're talking about, of course, about Pavel Skopek, who did a sterling job as well in the ball door. Told me, we're talking about, you know, who's better, the brothers. In the wet, he said, it should have been about 5 seconds a lap quicker if we would have chosen the right tire. But there's always if and when, and choosing the right tire, that's also part of the game in the EWC. Having the right choice is one of the things you need to get a nose or a neck for. And he lost a bit out, therefore, nevertheless, quite a successful outing for the Pazero Racing team. Pavel Skopek departed from the second position, also second in the championship, and that's 163 points he's got in total, so that's quite secure. We'll still have a bit of a fight going on for third position, which is still held by Andrej Jezek from the same team as Karel Hanika. He's not here to defend his third position, so there are quite a few guys lining up to take third spot in the championship. We're talking about Marko Jerman, who had that very fast off in race number 2, where he was dominant in race number 1. and was surprising us with the pace he found within his Ducati, the IF Motors Ducati Torun backed up Ducati, and he was really quick in race 1 in Grobnik, and then slid down the road, just exited the corner a little bit too far, and he told us that there was the crosswind which actually caught him by surprise a bit more than and was only inches outside the track, but since the track of Grobnik had been repaved, that was just enough to set him into the grass.
Yes, it was a difficult situation to look at, but fortunately he was lucky enough to escape injuries and escaped crashing his bike heavily, not so much. So it was a lucky day for him, lucky weekend, I must say. But we are all sorry, all the natives from Croatia. He is Slovenian, but we consider him as one of our own, because he and his family have been on Rijeka, on Grobnik since forever. He also has an older brother, Igor Jerman, who competed in the Endurance World Championship
a long time ago.
Yeah, and also took the World Championship one time for sure, maybe even a couple. I would have to check on that, but those were sometimes some 15-ish year ago.
And plus, yeah, well, he had some difficulties yesterday. We were struggling with the setup to find the sweet spot.
They're struggling with the bike this whole season. And
only 12th on the finish line yesterday in race 1. So Marco, he found it.
Yes, it was easier for him to compensate on Grobnik, where he's at home, literally. So it was much more easier there than it is here in the other tracks, which are a bit more different.
But of course, he's not alone in his pursuit for third position in the total championships. It is also the number 41, Philipp Steinmeier from Austria. He has a racing team on the Yamaha who is doing quite well for himself with about 90 points. He's about 9 points behind him. And then we jump to Nico Toni, fellow Austrian, 98 points. Then we go to Ville Valtone, as we mentioned, that's the team Sensitech from Finland with the Yamaha. He is there in 7th position. So, and they're all in the same bracket, you know, between 85 and 99 points, still trying to beat the 101 points Andrej Jezek has been able to put onto the total sheet, adding up all the finishes so far. So there is something to go for. Good start for the number 13, Ville Valtone. He's departed from the fourth spot on the grid. So let's go through the lineup. Karel Haneke in pole position for Pavel Skopik, then Philipp Steinmeier. Second row for Ville Valtone, Nico Toni in Milo Cihak. So that's out. Sorry, my apologies for that one. Mark Cerveni on the third row in 7th position, just before Marco Jerman, Rina Sikora, and then Jiri Broz for Florian Hüssler. Hopefully he's here as well to compete then. And Gerald Gesselbauer, Gesselbauer as they call it, is also there in the 4th row for Vaclav Bittmann, Thomas Einthaler, Piotr Falat, and then 6th row is for Tomas Sajic. And then we got Marek Hartl, Yves Lindecker, a bit further back in the Swiss rider, the number 550. Normally we see him a bit closer towards the top 10 now, an 18th spot, not having it his way. Richard Balkar, David Urnicek, Stanislav Polak, Patrick Pazera, 22 spot, Petr Dušana, 23rd, Knezovic, Kobalevsky, Durniek and Gorski. That's 27 people on the grid in total. A nice lineup for the final race of the season 2019. Haneke still having some trouble getting off the line with the old type BMW 1000RR, but was able to compensate enough in the second corner in race number 1. See if we can repeat that. Ville Valtonen was good in the first few laps. went into the box yesterday and he told me he was still trying to do 1 or 2 changes to maybe even be more consistent in the 137 bracket. He was hoping to get a sub 137 today. Let's see if he's able to do so. We look outside, some clouds are coming over, temperature still quite good. We're talking about 19 degrees on track. So late September, sunshine leaving us behind the hills around this track here in the northeast of the Czechian Republic. Everyone on the warm-up lap. Stay with us. Just we got a tiny little dessert prepared for you here on the end of the season with our live coverage on YouTube, brought to you by Lutech Racing. We still got the European Super Monos still to come after this, so stay with us. The late Sunday afternoon, the rest of the races in Europe are still finished, so all the time in the world to switch to our channel on YouTube while we have some aircrafts scrutineering over the track.
So
Hanika warming up his front brakes, yeah.
Hanika with a bad start almost every time we can recall. Can he pull it together this time? As we said, it was cheerful yesterday, so
it's late in the afternoon. He should be been able to sleep in today. Red flag still in front. We wait until everyone's in position, then the green flag on the back of the grid will leave the grid. Yeah, it's been shown there. Red flag to the side, waiting for the traffic light to go on. We're on and we're off.
And it's Skopek who takes the whole shot. What a start by Pavel Skopek. He broke away completely. Look at him go. Hanika holding the inner line, but
second. Oh, someone, 2-3 men going through.
Yes, even Yerman went straight
onto the escape road, which is the old part of the track. This is new, these first 2 corners. And let's see what that brings. You see the sunshine already setting. Pavel Skopek, brilliant start for him right now. And it is Hanika in hot pursuit.
Yes, it's Hanika right behind Skopek. He managed to recuperate and close down on Pavel.
And who's in 3rd position? Difficult to see from this angle on. Steinmeier.
It's hard to say.
Oh,
crash number 41. That is Philipp Steinmeier, I believe.
We were talking about him. Our apologies. That's indeed is Steinmeier. Forget it. That's over and out for him. Whoa! Another crash.
Somebody is down.
Yeah. And it's Hanika who's just taken the lead from Pavel Skopek, which means that could turn into a code red.
This could be a code red. Somebody's lying.
While Karel Hanika took over the lead, camera position switched back. We'll look at the number 144 there. Gerald Gesselbauer, who's still on the road. They're still continuing. So far, all depends on the rider. We'll have to wait for the decision. First.
Red flag.
Yeah.
We have a red flag.
Yeah. And I think, legs out. Somebody's already, Skopek's going straight through. But the red flag has been shown, so we have to go back to pit lane, which means that we have a restart for the Superbike. And let's see if we can find out who actually did not make it through that first round here on start-finish line. Quite a few people not getting onto the timesheets right now. Steinmeier we saw, of course. Florian Hüssler we're missing here. That's quite a few names not there. Piotr Falat, Urchinchek. Still a few guys on the road, so that waits a little bit to before we jump into conclusions. But definitely we saw the number 4.
For the information from the race control, but most definitely somebody was off the track.
We saw a Ducati there as well, if I spotted it well, but we'll have to confirm who's off and who's not.
very difficult situation always when we see a rider crash
Of
out
course.
of the race. We hope that everything will be okay with the riders who crashed.
Medical assistance on the track.
3 riders were in the collision.
Yeah,
It's hard to say what happened.
just out of our sight it happened, and then of course we saw Philip Steinmeier picking up his bike. He was on his feet, he was okay, that's good to see. So hopefully one will be guided into pit lane, that's for sure. We see the number 24, Marco Jeerman there. He's still on track. But quite a few riders will not be joining us. Everyone's into pit lane. So before we get any decisions from race control, we'll go to the commercial shortly, and hopefully we'll be able to collect some information and come back to you shortly. Gentlemen, you're back live here on YouTube with the coverage of the final race in the Superbike category in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Champion. We went out when we had a code red here on track due to multiple accidents all over the track. The marshals weren't able to clear soon enough, and there was some medical assistance as well, which caused the code red. We're out again. Pit lanes has opened. Short starting procedure. We'll go for an 8-lap race. A bit shortened due to the diminishing light. But we'll have to see who's back onto the grid again. We saw a few of the bikes in the gravel pit, but we have not been able to determine who's where. But it was the moment when Karel Hanika took the lead from Pavel Skopek, who had a blistering start. And see if we can copy that. We see the number 4, Nico Toni, approaching the grid. Short, we have one team member on the grid. The number 98 of Karel Hanika with the BMW, freshly crowned champion for the season 2019. We see the number 13 of Ville Valtonen, he's there. Pavel Skopek, of course, he was still on the road. And he is back with the bike. We're talking about the number 41, Philip Steinmeier, one of the riders who crashed actually in the gravel pit, was able to pick up his bike and get back into the grid. Everyone's off the grid. The first 3 lines are complete. We are missing somebody next to Jiří Brož. We'll have to look, but the major contenders within the championship are still with us. The front 3 rows. Marco Jeman we see there. Let's have a look at the light, whether they're going to be trial start. Yes.
We're missing somebody from the middle of the pack.
Have you seen who we haven't got?
I believe it's Hustler.
Yeah, Florian Hustler.
Piotr Falat as well.
Yeah.
And that's it. Only 2 guys we are missing.
Only 2 guys. Yeah.
So quick restart procedure.
We wish them the best. They were taken off. We haven't got any medical news, so best for the both of them. Of course, so such a poor end to a season.
Yeah, we hope that everything will be okay with the guys. Slowly but surely reaching the start of this Superbike race. We're waiting for riders to come in their starting positions. So everything is almost set. And the main question is who will take the overall 3rd place in the championship. Will it be Marco Jerman on the Ducati, or will it be Philipp Steinmeier? It's a close battle between them. Only 9 points separates them. Of course, it's Valtonen as well in the game, but
and Nico Toni also still in contention with 89 points. So they're close together, you know, just a few points in the difference. And well, you have to get into the 101 points bracket to steal 3rd place from Andrej Jezek, who's not able to defend his 3rd position. But the Fanny Castro BMW team has taken the crown by means of Karel Hanika. So their season has been successful here in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. Nico Toni there also, but the BMW, the Yamaha from Ville Valtonen, the yellow bike, the old school colors there. 2nd line there. All prepped. Everyone with his Georg there.
Everything is prepared. We're waiting for lights. They are on. Off they go again. Skopek with an excellent start. Skopek again goes right in front of Hanika.
Steinmeier in the inside. Who was there? Somebody else braking very, very late in the first.
It's Nico Toni, yes.
Yeah. Brilliant start for Nico Toni from the 2nd line. And it's tight in the 2nd corner. Ville Valtonen, we see there closely on the outside. Everyone safely through the first 2 corners. But the whole shot again for Pavel Skopek. What a blistering start again. And Nico Toni in second. It is Karel Hanika in third. And who's the gentleman in fourth? Is that Nick Milos? I think so. We'll have to have a look a bit further on when the camera is switching position. Karel Hanika already putting pressure on Nico Toni, the Austrian. Now followed by the Czech.
Back with the leaders, it's still Skopek in front of Toni and Hanika, who is trying to go on the inside. Hanika goes for the inside of Nico Toni and manages to pass in front into this double chicane.
The back part of this track. Closing in rapidly in this second part of the chicane. Nice flow for Karel Hanika, closing in straight away on the tail end of Pavel Skopek.
Onto the brakes, Hanika is all over the rear wheel of Pavel Skopek. Onto the start and finish line they go. Better line for Hanika.
He had to ease off actually. And there he comes.
Here they go, over the line. So Hanika tries for the inside but cannot manage.
Late.
So Skopek, Hanika, Toni, Červeni, Steinmeier, Jerman, Valtonen, Brož, Gesselbauer, Bittmann. That is the top 10 classification at the moment.
Yeah, they were breaking late, both of them, and Karel Hanika thought he might get him. He is faster through the corners, but on late braking, Pavel Skopek was still able to hold off Karel Hanika. But it's just a matter of when, then if Karel Hanika is going to pass him. He definitely has got more speed within the BMW. Cerveni, good start also in fourth position. Steinmeier, after his crash, was good off the line, was a bit swamped into the first corner, nevertheless still in fifth position. Valtonen dropped back a tiny little bit to seventh position. Yuri Brosnet is neatly in the eighth position. Gesselbauer also.
Hanika takes the lead. Hanika in front of Skopek. Can Skopek hold on? But it looks that Hanika is already pulling away. Hanika was some 0.7 of a second faster in his fastest lap than Pavel Skopek. But we see big fight between Jerman and Steinmeier in the background. And Jerman managed to pass on the fifth position in front of Philipp Steinmeier in his battle for the third place in the overall standings. We are again at the start and finish line. It's Hanika, Skopek, Toni. Yes, Jerman on the fifth place.
But Pavel Skopek is going for the inside line. No, a little bit too late. He was launching an attack for Karel Hanika into the first corner. Really close up on the rear wheel of the BMW, but just not enough to do so. And it is Cerveni fourth. Marco Jerman now to the fifth position for Steinmeier, Ville Valtonen, Gesselbauer, Jiri Broz, Bittmann, Ciak, Sigora, Lindecker, Heintaler, and Jazic is the last point scoring position in 15th position. Let's go back shortly to the blistering start again of Pavel Skopek. There we go. It's like long now, but it is, I don't know, but he makes a difference. And look at Philipp Steinmeier there on the inside, almost closing into it. Now the late braking Nico Toni, who's able to clinch second position here after the whole shot of Pavel Skopek. Everyone again
through this first part.
Yeah.
After the complications we had.
36.5 was the fastest lap time already set by Karel Hanika. Let's see what he does with the next outing here on start-finish line. They're
in the final corner, exiting onto the start and finish line. Hanika exits way in front of Pavel Skopek. Over the line he goes, 135.45 and 136.2 for Skopek, so a big difference. Marek Červeni on the fourth place still.
Improving in lap times, but nobody is able to go sub 136 except for Karel Hanika with the 35.458.
Jerman lost his fifth place to Philipp Steinmeier in the last lap. He probably made a mistake because he was 1 second slower. So something happened down the line. But still, that will, if Jerman finishes behind him, it will be enough in his fight for the third place in the overall standings. There's 9 points in between them, so a big advantage when you're fighting for the fifth. When you're fighting in the race, and you are on the 5th place, and the guy is on the 6th, and the other way around as well. Not a lot of points being handed out for those positions.
Yeah, with the 3rd place for Nico Toni, as we say, with the 90 points and 89 points he had, he comes to a total tally of 105. But that's not enough. If the other guys like Jerman and Steinmeier are able to finish where they are, then they should surpass him on the track. Although the 90 points of Steinmeier might not be just enough in 5th position right now. Cerveni in 4th position, bit of a surprise. He's a road racer, which is an entirely different discipline. In close tracks, it's pushing to the last limit, which you do not do on road tracks, because then you end up in a lamppost or anything else. Another 35.417 improvement on the fastest lap of the race for Kalle Hanika, who wants to crown his title with a significant victory. Nico Toni is actually going for the 20 points. He's trying to get into pursuit of Pavel Skopik. If you look at the last round, it's a 36.8 for Nico Toni, a 37.2.4 of a second. He's quicker, he's in the rear wheel.
Yes, Toni is trying to overtake Pavel Skopik. Toni is in a solid position, but still not enough points for him to grab 3rd place overall.
But if he went to 2nd, that might be just enough.
We'll see.
All depends on whether the other guys are finishing, but they are. Hey, it's an attack, touching one another.
Yes, but he has 89 points, and with
20, you go to 109.
Yes, 109, and still wouldn't be enough.
You never know. They're not finished yet. Was the first attack he made. Pavel Skopik was not having anything in. Closed the door. They touched fairings. Another attempt now on the inside line. It's Nico Toni inside. Pavel Skopik again. He's through.
Yes, he managed to pass him. Now Skopik is on the move, trying to stay behind him.
Skopik definitely having difficulty getting the traction. Cerveni still in 4th. There we go, start-finish line. Hanika way in the lead. Then Toni for Skopik.
Jerman loses positions.
Steinmeier 4th now for Cerveni. Gesselbauer 6th position, 7th for Jerman. Villa Valtone 8th position. And then it's waiting for Bittmann to come. Oh, it's Chiak. Sigora, Bittmann, Bros, Heintaler, Lindegger.
We have a new track record. It's being set by Karl Hanika with 135.417. That is a new track record. We have confirmation. So
I think it was 35.7 if I remember. Was late.
35.4.
Okay.
417. The new.
Not the old one. I mean.
Oh. We had it down. Written down somewhere.
I think I had it on the internet, something like, I think it was Kopek with a 35.704. So it's definitely broken, that's for sure. Toni actually pulling away from Pavel Skopik right now. Surprisingly, found something at the end of the season to really
without
put
any
him
pressure.
Racing for
Hanika
fun
managed to put on a good lap time. We have 3 laps to go. A lot has taken place in this Superbike race after we got red flagged.
It's Hanika, of course, demanding lead, putting a nice...
Marek Czerveni lost the 3rd place to Filip Stenmeier. So a lot is happening from the 3rd place down.
Yeah, 4th is now for Steinmeier. Gesselbauer is doing really well for himself, climbing up the order to 5th position.
Valtonen passed in front of Jerman. Jerman is losing round 139.2 is his lap time.
Personal best for Villa Valtone, 38.08. He should be able to get in the 37s.
have to add up the numbers.
We're in the penultimate lap. Shortened race, of course, due to the code red. But a nice layer of varnish to get an extra glimmer onto the prize he already obtained yesterday. Karel Hanika with a new lap record here in the track of Most. Always nice to have on your record again.
Hanika exiting onto the start finish line and entering the final lap of the final race in the Superbike category in the year 2019 in the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship. What a performance by Hanika.
Whoa, still dribbling into the last corner, still putting all the braking pressure onto those Bridgestone front tires. Not taking it easy whatsoever. And now we got Tony for Skopek for Steinmeier. And it's a different situation while Cerveni and Valtonen having a fight for 5th and 6th. Gesselbauer 7th, Marco Jerman 8th position. Close as it is with a personal best for Philipp Steinmeier, 37.4. Yeah, still quite a few points on the table. Steinmeier, after being in the gravel, retook his composure and fights for 4th position. Cerveni recuperated from a few bad laps, now in 5th position again for Valtone.
Hanika is in the final double chicane. Going strong.
That's Tony in the image, way ahead in 2nd place, securing those 20 points. There he is, our leader. The last couple of laps, Karel Hanika, champion 2019. Now approaching the last corner. While Misalov is looking out the window to see what's going on in the back of the field, we're looking at here on track, on screen, the final few yards, few meters for Karel Hanika, taking the 2nd race as a win and therefore putting an extra crown on his championship already. There's the number 4.
Nico Toni, then it's Pavel Skopek, Philipp Steinmeier, it's Ville Valtonen, and
Marek
Cerveni. And who will get the 7th place? It's Marco Jerman in front of Gerald Gesselbauer. Takes the 7th position. Will that be enough?
Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of the mathematics as soon as possible. Just stay with us. Nico Toni will go up to 119 points. And if we go to Pavel Skopek, that's not because you're already at 2nd place. Then we go to Steinmeier, 4th position, which is 13 points. And Steinmeier had 19, is 103. So that's not enough. And then we go to Jerman with 99. And how much points did Jerman get?
7th place.
7th position. Yeah, I have to go to my booklet. I wrote it down somewhere. 7th position. 9 points.
9 points.
Oh, it's not enough. 108.
No.
Yeah. So it is, I think, Nico Toni, if I do it well. Ville Valtone, well, let's have to add that one up. Ville Valtone is 5th in the rankings, which is good for 11 points. And Ville, just to get the mathematical, is 96, which is also not enough. It is Nico Toni who's taken 3rd position in the championship by his own merits, by his own accomplishments, by taking the 2nd spot here in race number 2. So good on him. It's good for the Austrian racing for BMW. The number 4 plate has taken 3rd position in the championship, 2nd in this race. So ladies and gentlemen, that was it for now for the Superbike category. We got a tiny, really attractive dessert prepared for you by the form of the Super Mono Cup. Still 1 race to go. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. I'll say goodbye to my good colleague for this week because he has to go on the road to get back home again.
Yes, it has been an outstanding season. I have to thank all the viewers who were with us this season and the last year as well. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast and our championship. We did our best to bring you all the live action from the Alpe Adria International Motorcycle Championship.
Okay,
Stay with us.
Yes, we'll be back soon with the Supermono's third race of the weekend.